is
Willett.
Kevin Willett, and I grew up in Saugus, Massachusetts, in a little neighborhood called Indian Valley. And it was, for a kid growing up, it had, you know, it really was a great place for it. It was all kids. It was a new neighborhood in 1962. And we had everything. I went Saugus High, the public schools, yeah. I really probably should have went to a vocational school. And I wasn't, I didn't really like, well, you know what I didn't like? I didn't like homework. So I didn't really like school either. I just wanted to get through it. I didn't hate school. I had a good time. I played sports that I like, you know, that I play, every season I played something, but it was always not the sports I would have liked to have played because I wasn't good enough. I was on the track team, and then we did have winter track, and in the fall I was on the cross country team, and I also wrestled in high school. Yeah, I really did like that. My favorite was the cross country team. We had a good team. We trained together all, even in the summer. All summer when we were off, our team trained, and we had a lot. And we in the summer we would go to races that were, you know, all over, you know, within 50-mile radius. You know, we did a lot of 5K, 10K races. So we were always out in the woods fishing. There was always, you know, we were always playing. Street hockey was a big thing because Bobby Orr, we were playing for the Bruins in the early '70s, you know, in '70, and so that made hockey big. And I had never planned on going to college. I had no interest, and I couldn't concentrate. I never listened. I tried to, but I really didn't. I didn't. You know, I just got through. And when I think back about school, it's not about. It wasn't about my grades, taking tests or anything like that. And then like I said, it wasn't about for me to go to college because I never planned on that. As far as really learning, I'll tell you something. I saw my favorite teacher of all time. He taught earth science. His name was Jay Collins. I think I had him in the 9th grade. And I might not have learned a lot about his actual class, but what this guy did, he had ski trips and hiking trips up Mount Chicora. You've heard of that. And he even had, I missed the Mount Washington one. He did this all on his own on the weekends. We'd take buses to ski mountains and buses to go hiking in the spring and the fall. And because of that, I learned to enjoy that so much. I did that with my own, after I had kids. We went hiking because of that. And he did other things. He had a lobster boat license not for commercial, just for his own. And he offered all the kids 2 at a time if they ever wanted to go out on his boat. And I did. Me and another kid I grew up with, Steve Conley, he took us out lobstering out in Nahant Bay. And we pulled up the lobster traps. That's what but he taught things. If you weren't good in his classroom, you learned other things from him. So I saw him years and years later, because my cross-country coach was sick and they were having a benefit for him. And I saw Mr. Collins there. And I don't know if he knew, I told him, I said, you know, really, I learned the most from you because I didn't pay attention to a lot of other things. But that's what he did for kids. He did all that on his own time. You know, organizing bus trips and to mountains and everything, you know. So I had a lot of teachers that I got other things, not there. I think I had I'm trying to think of the class. It was like a physics class. And this guy's name was Eddie Chamberlain. He was our teacher. And he was kind of, probably his last few years I had him. He was getting ready to retire. But he talked a lot about life, too, about how good, you know, to enjoy yourself. And he was actually in a motorcycle club called the Retreads. it's for people over 60. My friend Dave, who's now 79, used to ride with them, and he rode a BMW motorcycle. He traveled across the country. He flew a little airplane. He showed us a lot of private films, even though it was a physics class. I guess he was teaching you how to enjoy life. So that was another guy, and I had a teacher, Mr. Campamaggio, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Campamaggio, and he was, I really forget this class, how to say it, but he tried to, well, anyway, I remember he always told the kids, if something's bothering you, like, you either do something about it, or if it's something that you can't have no control over, then it shouldn't bother you. I don't know. I remember a lot of that. So I paid attention, but not to the actual class, I guess. I don't know. I guess I just thought that stuff that was real life stuff that you're gonna, I don't know. But, and, I didn't like taking tests or anything like that. I never liked that. I wanted to get out of high school and go to work. Right when I got out of school, I just took what they call it, an entry-level job as a mechanical assembler in a factory. So then from there, I said, all right, maybe I want to run some machines. And I took a course called the Machine Operators Training Course. And then I figured I'd be working in a machine shop for the rest of my life. So I did that till 1987, and I hated it. So I got laid off from a real good company, the General Electric in Lynn. I had a good job there. I ran what's called a turret lathe. I cut jet engine parts, liners for jet engines. And they laid off 2,000 people, and I was caught up in that. And I didn't want to do that anymore, and they retrained me to drive a truck. So I've been driving a truck for the last 30 years. My kids, they would get so bored because wherever we went around here, I can drive all around southern New Hampshire and the Boston area, all around here, and point out a million things where I poured concrete. And at this college, I poured concrete. So, the casino, the new casino, I started that right before I left. We poured concrete there, and then hotels everywhere, Waltham. So when my kids were little, I'd say, see that bridge? I poured the concrete there. I told my son there's a bridge in Haverhill. It was one of my favorite jobs. So it goes from Haverhill into Bradford over the Merrimack River. And it was one of our good jobs that I enjoyed. I took my son down there when he was little. I said, this is the bridge that me and Bob, my friend Bob that I worked with, built. And he's like looking at it. He goes, how come they don't have your name on it? I said, well, I wasn't the only one that built it.